What's going on, everybody? This Afro Think Tank. Hey, y'all, did y'all hear Donald Trump's address to the nation last night? Yo, I listened to that psychobabble, and I was like, what the hell am I listening to? Like, that shit was the wildest, most delusional speech Donald Trump has ever done. Hands down. Like, I'm thinking, and I know he's reading, right? Keep in mind, it's the same guy's like talking shit about teleprompters. He only don't like teleprompters because a black person used it. Right, Obama. He was just mad because Obama. See that teleprompter thing? He's mad because Obama can articulate himself very well. He can communicate very well. And Donald Trump doesn't have a very good vocabulary. You can tell he didn't complete elementary school, right? Or that's his highest level of real education. After that, he was just being passed along and pat on the hat throughout. Because Donald Trump might be the most illiterate president the country ever had. I'm talking about going back to the first presidents, the slave owners, capitalists who, stole this country because they didn't want to pay taxes to the crown, right? Like, he's an idiot. And then I'm like, everything he said was incorrect. Everything. The dude literally fires the people who are supposed to be unbiased and assessing the economic status of this country. Like, literally. So that he can go on stage and just make shit up. And I guess people are supposed to believe him. And the person who wrote the speech, like, there's a person who wrote his speech, right? And said, yeah, I'm putting all this misinformation in this speech, and I'm going to have Donald Trump read it. And people are just supposed to believe it. There are other independent institutions out here that's dropping the economic information and analysts that we need to know that the economy we're in a recession. We've been in a recession. They've been hiding the fact that we've been in a recession this entire time. Like, Donald Trump's, in his simpleton mind is, if we just fire everybody, then the information won't come out. He thinks that this is the 1950s and shit, where you could just turn off the TV and nobody know nothing. Because back then they only had like 3 channels, right? So it was easy to control the message. He can't control the message no more. They're operating like it's the 50s and 60s. If you don't hear about the national debt, I can just tell you anything and you're supposed to believe it. And the thing is, his subscribers do believe. The people who still looking at Trump like as a viable human being are still believing in shit that come out of his mouth. And that's what they're counting on. That's why the speechwriters, all the people behind Donald Trump, had the audacity to write that shit down and Donald Trump read it. Unless the speechwriters wrote some shit, right, that was correct, and then Donald Trump said, I'm not reading that shit. Put some shit, put that shit in it I like. Right? None of the people behind Donald Trump have integrity. None of them get a pass. None of them. I don't want to hear a bunch of tell-all books about how I stuck in there with Donald Trump for 10 years and he ain't shit. And you was riding him until shit got bad and then you try to jump off. Now you want your tell-all book. I don't care about none of y'all tell-all books. If you was with Donald Trump after the first 4 years, which I'm giving everybody a pass for the first one, even though you still have to be a stupid, maniacal, evil, dumb person to have ever voted for Donald Trump, period. Or you're just the height of ignorance, the height of misinformed. Or you just don't care about black people at all to vote for Donald Trump. And if you're black and you voted for Donald Trump, it's because you're stupid. That's it. If you were black and you voted for Donald Trump, it's simple. You're just fucking stupid. Yeah, and you're a danger to the black community, period. Right? There's no taking back. If you voted for him once, you were fucking stupid. If you voted for him twice, you're fucking extra stupid. And you voted for him 3 times, you're stupid and you're evil and dumb at the same time. And fat and bald and ugly, right? Even if you're not fat, bald, and ugly, you're fat and bald and ugly to everybody else, right? And so I just was shocked. I've never heard such a ridiculous speech. Everybody says it's ridiculous. There's not one person that said, damn, he gave a riveting speech, except for Brandon. The former Pan-African strike backs, that dude went live and thought it made it seem like Trump just gave the greatest speech in the world. I think Brandon, Defiant Brandon on YouTube, former Pan-African strikes back, I think he gets the Coon Award for most dedicated. This dude is a coon for free. The dude views go down every day. And he dedicated on that shit 1 hour, 2 hours. He gonna talk, it be 2 motherfuckers. He gonna talk to them. He will talk to 1-2 hours. He is, while the Trump train is crashing, he is going down. He is going off the rails with that train. While the Trump ship is sinking, he's the guy on the band, right, going down with the Titanic. He said, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and play this song on the way down instead of saving my goddamn life. That's him, right? I gotta commend him. I ain't never seen such a dedicated coon in my life, especially when they don't get paid. At least the ones, some of them who still doing it, at least they getting a check for selling out the community. Brandon will sell out his community for free. That is an amazing feat. He should get a lifetime achievement award for that shit. Him and a few others, right? But he's innocent. Nobody takes him seriously anyway. That's why, you know, nobody watches shit. But Donald Trump, bro, first of all, he's dying. You can tell he's dying, right? And you can tell that no one cares about him, and that it's just Bernie at weekends. They just throw him up there. They threw a speech that they're like, all right, we're gonna throw some shit up here. He's gonna read it. He's gonna feel good about it. We're just telling him everything is great. You know, who knows? Maybe Donald Trump really believes the shit that comes out of his mouth. Because I'm sure there's somebody that's just pandering it. Somebody wakes up every morning, right? Goes to McDonald's, gets him a breakfast McMuffin, right? Because his favorite place is McDonald's. Gives him a 1-sheet paper with bullet points. Say, this is what's going on today. That's his brief. Because he don't got an attention span. We all know that, right? So everything he repeats, I believe it's somebody, one of them fucking evil racist neo-Nazis. They come in the morning, give him his McMuffin and his goddamn coffee and shit, and they say, Donald Trump, the economy is great. Everything's going great. Everything is great. You're breaking records, sir. You're breaking records, right? Wow. And then they pat Donald Trump on the head, give him his McMuffin, and then they leave the room and go do all the evil racist shit behind his back that they know he don't know nothing about. Because they'll use the word salad on his ass because their vocabulary is higher than his. He don't know what the fuck's going on, right? Anyway, that shit was insane. Like, the standards, white people's standards are so low. Like, white supremacy, the standards are so low. The highest, the most, they're supposed to be the most powerful white man on the planet. That's the best white supremacy can do. You get rid of DEI and all that shit y'all complain about. And this is this is the top dog. Donald Trump is the best. Donald Trump is the best white supremacy can do. And for all the minions, the best social media white supremacists are not white. Y'all got a gay Mexican Nick Fuentes leading the white supremacist movement, right? And then you got a black woman leading the other half of the white supremacist movement. That shit is crazy. But anyway, y'all tell me what y'all think about this shit in the comment sections. Afro Think Tank, learn something, teach something. I'm out.
For those of you who decided to not watch Trump's address to the nation last night, baby, you made the right decision. Because per usual, it was the exact same lies that Trump tells every single time. He opens up by saying that he inherited the worst economy. And let me add, I counted by hand how many times he mentioned Biden's name last night. He mentioned Biden's name 6 times. Baby, I thought it was going to be more than that, but it was 6. He said that the economy is going in the right direction. Prices are coming way down. Again, all of us know that prices are not coming way down. Next year, he promised that it will be the biggest tax cut in America history, which we all know those tax cuts are not for the American people. The tax cuts are for his billionaire friends. And with those tax cuts, he touched on that the average American family will save, get ready, $11,000 to $20,000 from his tax cuts. And again, it's people out there that will actually believe this. That was a complete embarrassment. And let me add, he also shared that leaders around the world are calling America the hottest country right now. Only a fool would believe that. So yeah, you didn't miss anything. It was literally the same lies that he tells over and over. You didn't miss anything.
Here's a 2-minute fact check of President Trump's 18-minute address last night.
The last administration and their allies in Congress looted our treasury for trillions of dollars.
The Trump administration added $1 trillion to the national debt in less than 3 months.
To slash prices on drugs and pharmaceuticals by as much as $400 500 and even 600%.
It's mathematically impossible to slash anything by more than 100%.
Gasoline is now under $2.50 a gallon in much of the country.
Here in Kansas City, it is around $2.50, but the national average is at $3.
A major factor in driving up housing costs was the colossal border invasion.
Economists say that it's rising mortgage prices and housing shortages that are driving up costs, not immigrants.
Settled 8 wars in 10 months.
At least 3 wars from Trump's list are conflicts, not wars. And one of those wars started up again. Then there's Gaza.
Ended the war in Gaza.
Israeli strikes continue to kill Palestinians.
I am bringing those high prices down and bringing them down very fast.
He's not. Though eggs are cheaper, sort of.
The price of eggs is down 82% since March.
Egg prices are down since March, but they're just back to where they were for most of Biden's presidency.
We're bringing back clean, beautiful coal.
There's no such thing as clean coal.
And for the first time in years, wages are rising much faster than inflation.
Wages have been rising faster than inflation for most of the last decade.
The steep increase in premiums being demanded by the Democrats, and they are demanding those increases, and it's their fault.
As I explained in yesterday's video, Democrats don't want a premium increase, but the Republican-controlled Congress refuses to take a vote on it.
The largest tax cuts in American history.
The big, beautiful bill was the 6th largest tax cut in American history.
We are respected again like we have never been respected before.
Under Trump, the U.S. image has declined significantly abroad, according to a poll of 24 countries.
Nobody can believe what's going on.
Well, the president has just finished his address to the nation, and was that a speech? I mean, it felt almost like it was a bad, fast-talking infomercial with a lot of anti-immigrant language just intertwined in there. It was extremely loose on facts, and he basically tried to shout his alleged accomplishments at the American people as if that was going to convince them that they were all true. But first, I just want to quickly fact-check just a few. I mean, there were so many in there. We were working as quickly as we could, but just a few of the president's most blatant falsehoods. Tonight, Trump announced checks for $1,776 for U.S. troops. First of all, Congress controls the power of the purse in the country, not the president. So if that happens, that is Congress sending those checks, even if Trump puts his name on them. But that number, $1,776, is also kind of interesting because an analysis from the Yale Budget Lab estimates that as of November, Trump tariffs have cost Americans an average of $1,700 per household this year. Trump also claimed that when he took office, inflation was the worst in 48 years. That's not true. The truth is that inflation had been declining from its peak of 7% during the pandemic. But since Trump took office, it has basically flatlined at 3%. It was 3% in January, and it's 3% today. In his campaign, Trump also claimed he would end inflation on day one. Now, just last week, the chair of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, said that, quote, inflation remains somewhat elevated. There you go. Trump said he's working to bring grocery prices down. Now, just this week, this is where it gets awkward for him, Trump's own agriculture department released a report showing that food prices are rising faster than inflation. And everybody, by the way, is living that at grocery stores. Trump also claimed that he's brought gas prices down to $1.99 a gallon. The national average for a gallon of gasoline was $3.11 when Trump took office. The national average today per AAA is $2.91. That is just a little taste and flavor, and I'm sure you all have your own lists at home.
President Trump blamed Democrats as he talked about what he called his accomplishments in a primetime speech. The speech, which sounded similar to a State of the Union speech, focused on the economy and celebrating his efforts to curb immigration.
Inherited the worst border anywhere in the world, and we quickly turned it into the strongest border in the history of our country.
Some Americans are reacting to talk of affordability, saying they are not seeing lower prices. In a new CBS News poll, 63% of people who responded said the economy is bad. 76% say their income is not keeping up with inflation.
Donald Trump said that when he became president, America was dead. I want to know what president talks like that. How can America be dead? How can America be dead? I don't get why we are still even talking about Joe Biden, but there's no way that without any actual solutions, Donald Trump is going to get, and this is what he's doing. He's really, I don't know if he's even on this planet anymore. The stuff that he is saying is actually not true. And he is up here telling people, because he knows people are crazy enough to believe all the lies that he's saying. We're going to see the biggest tax return that we've ever seen. Eggs, that groceries are going down. In what world are groceries going down? Whose groceries are going down? I know my groceries ain't going down. It's like he's literally just completely lying to make people believe him because the Epstein files are supposed to come out in 2 days. Truthfully.
Someone said we just watched the first AI live speech from the president. At first, I brushed it off, but then I watched it again tonight.
Good evening, America. 11 months ago, I inherited a mess, and I'm fixing it. When I took office, inflation was the worst in 48 years, and some would say in the history of our country, which caused prices to be higher than ever before, making life unaffordable for millions and millions of Americans. This happened during a Democrat administration, and it's when we first began hearing the word affordability.
I'm not saying it was AI. Did he do a couple of weird blinks in the beginning? Sure, but that's not proof. But I am saying the vibe was very strange throughout. I mean, there were moments where he mispronounced words or numbers.
Importantly, we will celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. Tonight, I am also proud to announce that more than 1,450,000, think of this, 1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call Warrior Dividend before Christmas, a Warrior Dividend.
So yeah, there were some slip-ups that just made me think, well, this has to be real. AI wouldn't mess up like that. Or would it? Because if you wanted something to feel real, wouldn't you build in the imperfections? Wouldn't you leave just enough mistakes to keep people from questioning it? I hate that my brain goes there, but we live in a world where AI is taking over. Anyways, the whole speech just felt robotic and rushed. But I'm sure it isn't AI, but what are your thoughts? Because at the end, I did see him shut down. But he's always falling asleep, so.
We just watched a televised Truth Social post. That's the simplest way to explain what was just that, 15, 17-minute long speech. And let me go ahead and break it down, because Donald Trump did give a speech from the White House, and it was less of an address and more of an angry spirit rant. The headline, to be honest with you, out of all of this is that he announced that there's going to be a $1,776 Christmas bonus for U.S. troops, and that, quote unquote, those checks are already in the mail. Trump says that he's going to be giving the 1.45 million service members a warrior dividend, saying that it's the tariffs that are paying for it. Now, I'm down to pay our troops, but tariffs, once again, is something that are put onto Americans. You pay the tariff, not the companies. You do. After that, the tone kind of shifted to the point to where Donald Trump barely paused. He was angry and just kind of saying things extremely quickly. He repeatedly attacked Joe Biden. He insisted the country was dead under Biden. And then when he returned to office, it came back to life. He framed in his speech that the United States is now the quote unquote hottest country in the world, and that every world leader he's spoken to had said that. On the economy, he says that gas prices right now on average are $2.50. We looked it up on Gas Buddy. It's about $2.90. I know around me it's $3, so it is different across the United States. He also claimed that this year household energy costs dropped by $3,000, which there is absolutely no evidence for that. If anything, our energy bills have gone up. He also promised that there's going to be 1,600 new energy powering plants within the next 12 months. There's no details on that. He also talked about the future of housing with a plan. Also, no details on that. He mentioned that tariffs are working, which we also have not seen evidence of tariffs working. Once again, you're paying for the tariffs, not the companies or the other countries. Immigration took up a large chunk of his speech, where he claimed that mass criminals have been removed despite data showcasing non-criminals have also been deported. That aside, this speech felt very rushed and not really something that you would do for a primetime speech. He didn't talk about a lot of things, including Venezuela, Epstein, Ukraine. He didn't really talk about any of the very important things that are questions on our minds. This speech was actually supposed to reassure Americans that everything is being fixed, everything's okay, but instead, he sounded like a frustrated president in the moment, trying to convince us that it is fixed and everything's going to be better, when realistically we feel like the exact opposite. But did you watch the speech? How do you feel about it? Let me know in the comment section below. I'll be sure to keep you updated, so please do share my videos and follow me for more.
Hey y'all. Now, last night, Fotis Dozing Don wrapped up his 1-year recap. So let's talk about the top 5 things he said, and then I'm going to give you the facts, not the feelings. The first thing he said was, this is the best economy in history. Let's give you the facts. No, sir, it is not. There is no economic data, not GDP, not wages, not inflation, not purchasing power, that supports best in history. That line sounds good on television, but it does not survive a spreadsheet. Number 2, I inherited the highest inflation ever. Fact. Also, that's a lie, sir. Inflation had already peaked and was declining before you took office. It has remained relatively flat since, but it was not the highest inflation in U.S. history. That's revisionist history, not economics. Number 3, I secured a record-breaking $18 trillion in investment. Fact. This number has changed more than I've changed my hair. A week ago, it was $21 trillion. The administration's own list of investments tied to his leadership totals $9.6 trillion. And even that number is exaggerated. It includes investments that were announced under, guess what? The Biden administration, and trade commitments the U.S. is only partially responsible for. This headline actually sounds impressive, but the math ain't mathin'. Number 4, military members will get a $1,776 check before Christmas, a warrior dividend. Fact. Sir, there is no law, no congressional authorization, no payment guidance from the Department of Defense or Treasury. And here's the part that folks aren't talking about. The Supreme Court is currently weighing cases that could invalidate the very tariffs he claims will fund this payment. If those tariffs fall, the revenue disappears and the cost shifts right back to who? To us, the American taxpayer, increasing the deficit or the national debt. That is not fiscal responsibility, y'all. That is a campaign promise built on legal uncertainty. And number 5, there's no tax on Social Security. Fact. That is a lie. The OB3, the One Big Ugly Bill Act, does not eliminate taxes on Social Security benefits. It does not. Not one provision. Social Security is taxed exactly as it was before. What the bill actually includes is a repackaged senior deduction that may help some seniors under very strict specific income circumstances, often offset a portion of taxable income. Portion, some, little, that's not a historic tax cut. That's just Don's creative marketing. And just so we're clear, there were no healthcare announcements, nothing about Venezuela, and a so-called aggressive housing plan promised next year with no details, no framework, and no explanation. At the end of the night, this was not a governing address. It was a campaign speech. Promises aren't laws. Speeches aren't receipts. And facts still matter.
Fuck this, fuck that, and bitch, fuck you. Fuck this, fuck shit, fuck your daddy too. No, I ain't forget your motherfucker too. Motherfucker, fuck your blood and this fuckery they got us going through. Some fuck-ass white man long ago got all his fuck-ass friends on board with fucking up the world for sport. With fucked up weapons, ways and words. Now fast forward to present day. Their fuckery has had its way, but as sure as F-U-C-K, this dog will have its fucking day. Fuck this, fuck that, and bitch, fuck you. Fuck this, fuck shit, fuck your daddy too. No, I ain't forget your motherfucker too. Motherfucker, fuck your blood and this fuckery that got us going through. Those fuckers put us under spells. Said fuck y'all to a living hell. Fuck all the laws that nature tells. So we die cursed while they live well. But fuck, I've had it up to here. I curse their curses with no fear. I give no fucks, I live to hear the song that justice sings so clear.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan.
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.